Hello and welcome to the abridged version of the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. My name is Justin Bemuyi and Bamidele John is the sign language interpreter. First, let's look at the headlines. President Buhari grants release of old 200 naira notes to ease challenges of currency swap. And World Bank President David Malpass announces resignation. Now, to ease the supply pressures being experienced by Nigerians, President Muhammadu Buhari has given approval to the Apex Bank to release the old 200 naira notes back into circulation and be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10, 2023 to April 10, 2023. The president said this in a national broadcast where he enumerated the advantages of the monetary policies, a policy which includes strengthening the economy, enhancing the fight against corruption, and sustaining the gains in the fight against terrorism and insecurity.
Placed on the path of innocent Nigerians by unscrupulous officials in the banking industry, entrusted with the process of implementation of the new monetary policy. I am deeply pained and sincerely sympathize with you all over these unintended outcomes. Let me assure Nigerians that our administration will continue to assess the implementation with a view to ensuring that Nigerians are not unnecessarily burdened. In this regard, the CBN shall ensure that new notes become more available and accessible to our citizens through the banks.
In the meantime, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has formally reacted to the presidential broadcast on the currency swap policy. He is assuring Nigerians that adequate steps have already been taken towards making the old 200 naira and all new banknotes more available and accessible to those in need across the country. Mr. Emefiele stated these while speaking to State House correspondent Adamu Sambo on the new directives issued by President Buhari to the Apex Bank.
I have met with about 15 banks this morning, later, and we've given them directives about how they should make all the old 200 naira notes available, effective today. And I can assure Nigerians that this will help to reduce the pains. We meet with the bankers at least once daily to get feedback and the rest of them. And I think the president has sealed the whole of the issues this morning in his broadcast. And I think I can only just appeal to Nigerians, let's allow this policy to work. This policy is one policy that goes to solve the problem of reducing corruption and illicit financial flows. This policy goes to resolve some of the problems in the economy. This policy also goes to reducing the level of insecurity in the country. So these three issues, which are the tripod of this administration's policy, are all embedded in this policy. We should just allow it to work. We keep saying this. There are some temporary pains, but I can assure Nigerians that the long-run benefit to Nigeria is overwhelming, and we should just give it a chance to work.
And now moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, ahead of the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union. The president was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police, Usman Akalibaba, Director General Department of State Services, Yusuf Magajibichi, and other senior government officials. While in Ethiopia, the president will participate in 3 high-level meetings on peace and security, climate change, and the political situation in some West African countries. The Nigerian leader will deliver remarks at these events events as well as present his national statement at the opening session of the summit, which brings together leaders from AU member countries as well as a number of non-AU countries and international institutions accredited to the AU in Addis Ababa. The theme of the AU summit is acceleration of the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation. You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. We take a short break now. More news in a moment. Just stay with us. The federal government and the government of the United States of America have signed the Asset Return Agreement on the repatriation of assets recovered from the former governor of Bayelsa State, late Dipriye Alemesia. The exchange of the agreement on the return of looted assets to Nigeria has been completed by both countries in Abuja. Delia Tomi tells us more.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, signed the repatriation agreement on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, signed on behalf of our government. The asset return agreement followed the forfeiture proceedings against certain real property and investment funds in Maryland and other locations within the jurisdiction of the U.S. government. Asset return arose from the forfeiture and recovery of approximately $1 million linked to the corrupt practices of the former governor, Dipriye Alemeseha. Following the court order, both countries negotiated and finalized the terms of the asset return agreement.
I wish to state that we are critically in need of these funds to support the implementation of several other critical projects for the benefit of Nigeria and our citizens.
The United States will continue to do its part to deny safe haven to corrupt actors and the assets they have illicitly acquired, whether from here in Nigeria or other parts of the world. As the first country to criminalize foreign bribery, we take our role as a standard bearer seriously and will continue to strive to increase accountability and transparency and counter and respond to corrupt acts.
Consequently, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved that the returned asset be used for a health center project for the benefit of the people of Bayelsa State. The U.S. government has in recent past returned some of the looted funds tagged as Abacha loot to the Nigerian government. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And now coming from the global scene, Azerbaijan opens first field hospital for quick victims in Turkey's Kahramanmaraş, just as World Bank President David Malpass announces resignation. Our details with Charles Afran Global Update.
Kahramanmaraş has a laboratory, local and anesthesia and surgery departments. Azerbaijan authorities said it will build another with separate departments for orthopedic, pediatrics and general surgery while standing by their brothers in Turkey until the duty is done. In other news, the World Bank President David Malpass has announced his resignation, saying he plans to step down before the end of his 5-year term. Malpass informed World Bank's Board of Executive Directors on Wednesday that he will exit the organization on June 30 after serving more than 4 years, while his 5-year term was due to end in April of 2024. Elsewhere, China has called for the lift of sanctions placed on Iran during President Xi Jinping's visit to Tehran. The Chinese president expressed his opposition to foreign interference in Iran's internal affairs a few days after Iran said it arrested Israeli mercenaries responsible for the attack on Isfahan military factory. In Africa, Rwanda has accused DR Congo soldiers of attack on its army border post. It says its troops briefly exchanged fire with soldiers from the Democratic Republic of the Congo at a border post as tension continues to spike between the two neighbors. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now back here in Nigeria, with the Nigerian police force deploying more than 300,000 personnel to cover the general elections, Nigerians are being assured of adequate protection before, during and after the conduct of the 2023 general elections. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, who said this at the State House executive briefing of the press, explained that the police are not unaware of the challenges threatening the hitch-free conduct of the coming elections. The police and other security agencies, it says, are strategizing to counter the threats for a smooth conduct of all elections in the country. Identified possible challenges include the continuous and targeted attacks on INEC facilities, activities of terrorists, bandits and secessionists, those attempting to advance political interests through violation of the Electoral Acts, hate speech and many other violations.
We will maintain the tempo in the ongoing special operations across the country with intent to sustain the current relatively stable internal security order, particularly in troubled areas in the northeast, southeast, etc. 2, deepen intelligence activities to proactively respond to threats wherever it may occur. 3, continue to synergize with the military, the intelligence community, and all other security agencies towards presenting a common front in the election security governance plan. It is my belief and conviction that the Nigerian military, the Nigeria police, and all other security agencies will collectively collaborate, synergize, and cooperate in policing the 2023 general election in order to ensure that a free, fair, and credible election takes place in Nigeria.
Stella's correspondent J.D. Onifada reports that the Inspector General of Police was guest at the 66th edition of the weekly press briefing organized by the Presidential Communication Team. This is where we end the news. Before we go, a reminder to join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Justin Abemunyi, and John Bamidele has been the sign language interpreter. Say thank you for watching. Bye for now.